one more. And I think we're back to blue.
Thanks, Gordon. So we're getting very close to the question and answer period, but just to reiterate, the next step in this process is, in furtherance of this transportation and circulation plan, is to go to the Washoe County Planning Commission on April 1st for the roadway abandonment, which will enable us, if the project is ultimately approved, to consummate that abandonment and reroute the roads as indicated. The environmental review will commence the next several weeks under TRPA's auspices, and it's our intention to continue to have meetings with the community as well as with the regulatory community. So with that having been said, what we'd like to do is answer whatever questions you may have. I think we're doing well in terms of schedule. As you ask a question, we'd appreciate it if you'd identify yourself, and then whichever of us is appropriate, we'll do our best to give you the best answer we can. So with that underway, we have a volunteer.
Yes, my name is John Sell. I actually have a couple of questions for Gordon. You mentioned that you had done a study last July on the intersection. That was actually, in fact, State Line and 28, correct? That's true. You did a study actually a few years ago, 2000, on Reservoir and 28. I want to know why the traffic studies were only done from a study that occurred in May of 2000.
The counts in at Reservoir in 28?
Right.
We didn't have an opportunity. We were under contract for this after last summer, so we didn't have an opportunity to do a peak summer count.
You graded that, and you graded that intersection as an F, right? The worst intersection?
The worst movement at that intersection today without a two-way left turn lane is an F.
Now, what's going to happen if, in fact, we accept that that intersection is an F, and I think that's debatable, if we assume that it's an F, what's going to happen to the traffic now that you're eliminating Reservoir?
It's going to move over to the state line. The volumes are very low. It takes only a few cars turning out into a heavy traffic volume without a two-way left turn lane for that to get to level of service F.
Isn't it kind of like if you had 395 as the busiest let's say road in Reno, and you said, isn't the solution here just to get rid of 395? Isn't that kind of like that?
No, absolutely not. Let's pick a volume on 395 of 80, 90,000 cars a day. Let's pick a volume on Reservoir Road now of somewhere around 200, 300 cars a day. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, I've never actually seen, a level F is 180 seconds. I've been trialing it for 5 years. I've never actually seen a level F rating. But let's leave that for a second. The vehicle miles traveled. It seemed to me this amazing task of sophistry that you could add 400 units and traffic decreases. So I looked at your gory details of numbers. In fact, the casino visits of 4,600 have been reduced magically to 1,200. Now I assume that's because you're qualifying this as a destination resort. But in fact, your plans are not a destination resort. There's nothing about it that qualifies as either a federal destination resort or as a county destination resort. But you've assumed that because it is a destination resort, casino traffic, even though it's 10,000 square feet, will be reduced by a factor of 4.
Excuse me, John, this isn't an inquisition. If you have additional questions,
I have a
we'd be happy to take them afterwards. But we're not going to.
We're not going to. Vehicle.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Bob Stewart. I have a house right up here in Monson. And the way it looks, you're building a park underneath me. Thank you very much. My concern is you're expanding the roadway to 24 feet, coming down, we're probably looking at Wausau right in front of my, what happens when that ends up into Wausau, which is probably it's not 24 feet, where are we going to find the extra room? And how far will you take that? Because actually it's going past your property, past your responsibility. Are you going to dump the big road off into the little road and say bye-bye? Or what are you going to do with that?
I think Brian.
And where are you going to find the extra space? There's a cliff on one side.